May God's name be glorified. This year, when I came here, I'm speaking for the second time. Uh, it's kind of a punishment that Leslie uncle has given to me. Last year, when he asked me to speak, I declined. So this time, when he told me for the second time, I could not tell no. uh, so for the brief moment of study, I'd like to speak from an incident in the Bible from Second Kings. It's a story that we all know, uh, the book of Second Kings and chapter 4, and we'll read from verse 1 to verse 7. Second Kings, chapter 4, and verse 1 to 7. Maybe someone can read or one verse each. I will start. One day, the widow of a member of the group of prophets came to Elisha and cried out, "My husband who served you is dead, and you know how he feared the Lord. But now a creditor has come threatening to take my two sons as slaves."
Elisha replied to her, "How can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house?" "Your servant has nothing at all," she said, "except a small jar of olive oil."
उसने कहा, तू बाहर जाकर अपनी सब पड़ोसियों से खाली बर्तन मांग ले आ और थोड़े बर्तन न लाना।
And you shall go in and shut the door behind you and your sons, and pour out into all these vessels, and you should set aside what is full.
So she went from him and shut the door behind her and her sons. She brought the vessels to her, and she poured it out.
Now it came to pass when the vessels were full that he said to her son, "Bring me another vessel." And he said to him, "There is not another vessel. The oil full."
Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, "Go, sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on it."
Thank you for the reading of the word. So today my message is slightly unusual actually. I'm not here for a big Bible study, but it is a financial lesson that we can learn from this portion of scripture. The Bible teaches us so many things about finance or how we need to handle the money that God has granted to us. This message is not about wealth creation, but it is about wealth management. God has given to us in a small amount or in a big amount, and how are we faithful to that? It is important in our Christian life. The reason that I am taking this study is I see a lot of youngsters, some of you who have grown up. When we grew up, we had a lot of financial. We didn't grow up in so much where there was abundance, but yes, we were never in need. But today's generation, when we look at our children, they are growing up where whatever they ask, they are getting it as well. As well as there are some of you who have started working just new. Some of you would be passing out of college, and maybe in future days, you will start working. Some of you are already working. This message is not for those who are retired. They have already planned for their future. The reason why I meditated on this some time back is I used to observe because we have a Sunday school there, young people there, and I started observing how they are utilizing the wealth that God has given to them. How are they utilizing it? And I found out many of them were mismanaging the wealth that God had given to them. Because today we are in a generation, earlier days, if our parents wanted money, what they used to do? There was no ATM machine, right? I think they used to go to the bank, either a check or some order they would put, and they would get a cash in their hand. So cash is something physical, which you can keep counting how as it decreases, what. But today we have come into a more advanced stage. You know, we have this Apple Pay, Google Pay. We are away from even ATM card. You know, first it was ATM card swiping, putting a pin. These days, nothing. All is we are in a very advanced society. At the same time, one thing, another observation that I found out is credit cards. You know, it is during our days also it was common, but these days I think there are a lot of apps. The other day I was opening the Vodafone app. You can get money from Vodafone app as well. They are also ready to give you a loan. A loan is so easy. Earlier days, if you go to a bank, they would ask you 1,000 questions, and there is high chance that you will never get the loan passed. Today, without any proof, nothing, even if you have the low salary or high salary, they are ready to give the amount because bank knows how to encash it back from you as well. We are living in a credit society, you know, where the wants are increasing. The other day we went to one of the electronic stores. I was observing all the products, the original price is written as well as what is the EMI amount as well, which was not there before at all, you know. So it's very easy. You look at a costly product, for example, a costly phone, and you see, oh, 4,000 per month. Okay, so this is how the youths are seeing it right now because I experienced there with some of those children. It's like, Dad, 4,000 only, you know, it is so low amount. Why not? Okay, but they don't realize how much they end up paying interest. Some of them, they are taking money from the credit card itself, you know, ending up paying high interest back. Okay, so we need to be very careful because this is something, if God has given you a job, it is God who has given the job. It is, we can never take credit upon. So the salary that we take out from it, or when we do a business and when we get the profits out of it, it is all glory to God. It is all granted by God. So when that comes into our hand or falls into our bank, we need to be faithful on how we handle it. My topic today is not about giving, okay? That is a separate, altogether, a big topic. But it is about what you have in your hand, how you are going to utilize it, okay? How you are going to plan it. In the Proverbs, I'm not going to turn to many of those verses. We know about the ants that prepare for the winter to come, okay? They prepare for it. They prepare for the time to come. As well as in this world, when you go to YouTube and many things, there are a lot of financial advisors as well. Okay, but the Bible, years before, it speaks about how you need to handle your wealth. When the smallest amount that God has given to you, how you are going to handle it. Okay, so this particular story, okay, we will just look into it and learn the lessons that we can learn from this small incident. Okay. The first thing that we see here, it is the prophet Elisha to whom this widow comes. And we know from verse 1, the woman's husband, he was a junior prophet under prophet Elisha. Okay. It says there, she came crying to Elisha, my husband who served you is dead. Okay. Imagine this great prophet, Elisha, a man who had doubled the spirit than his predecessor, that is Prophet Elijah, a great man of God under whom this prophet worked. And For sure, this, as it says in that verse there, you know how he feared the Lord. This man, the widow's husband, was no ordinary man. He was a man of God. As it says there, he feared the Lord. Of course, to be under a prophet, a master like Prophet Elisha, you needed to fulfill certain criteria to be a person to work under Prophet Elisha. She says that my husband who served you is dead. We don't know the reason for it, how he died, but as it says there, her husband died, and she somehow goes into credit or debt. Um, how did it happen? The Bible is not telling that, but somehow she ends up in debt to some people. Okay, and the debt is so serious that she says the creditor has come threatening to take my two sons as slaves. This is not a normal thing. It's a very serious thing that has happened. In in many families, especially the women, the girls, you need to be very careful on how you spend. Okay, they are very easy to be fooled upon. Okay, when you see a lot of attractive things, clothing and other things that you can see, and especially fathers, they would like to shower it upon their children as well. But be very careful, okay, in on those impulse purchases, because as it says here, somehow this woman, she went into debt, and as it says here, the debt was so serious that the creditor was ready to take his two sons, maybe to make them as slaves. And as it says there, take my two sons as slaves. And she now comes to Prophet Elisha, and she says to help, she cries unto Prophet Elisha. And Elisha's reply is very interesting. He says, what can I do to help you? Prophet Elisha was not carrying some, bundle of cash with him that, okay, take it, give it to the creditor. No, no, no. He did not do that. Elisha could have done, okay? Elisha did lot of miracles while he was on this earth. It was very for, probably this woman also expected that maybe I will go and cry to Elisha. And Elisha, since he has lot of followers, lot of influential people in the city, maybe he will go and tell somebody and they will come to help her. Elisha's question is, how can I help you? What can I do to help you? And then Elisha asked this question, and that is the question which is very important. Tell me, what do you have in the house? The first point is, take an inventory of your current assets. What do you have? Elisha is asking this question to this woman. What do you have with you? We may go into such serious situations, God forbid, but it can happen, okay? But when we go, there are some things, before we even cry out to our neighbors or to people around, there is somebody to cry unto, and that is our God, who is the other day we were singing that song, who helper of the helpless, that is the God that we have. He's the helper of the helpless. The woman's first cry should have been to God. But the thing is that she went to the prophet. Uh, so that's the first place where we need to go to when we go through difficult situations. Maybe it can happen that the companies that you are working in, maybe they are not paying salary for you, maybe due to some financial situation, maybe 1 2 months. We have seen it there also, that it happens. Many companies, they don't pay their salaries for 1 2 months, and the families struggle because they have a lot of other things that they have to pay to. So the first thing is we need to know is there is a God who helps us. We need to go to that God who can help us, who can make a way for us. And as Elisha says, tell me, what do you have in the house? When we think that we have lost everything, everything is gone out of your hand, there is something that we still have with us that God can make bountiful out of it. I think it is in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 14. It speaks about the parable about the feeding of the 5,000. There also, Jesus is asking them, what do you have? And they say, we don't have anything, okay? But ultimately, they found out that boy who had 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So there is something that is still with you. Maybe it is your talent, maybe it is a skill that God has blessed you with you, or it is an education that God has given to you. Don't take it for granted, thinking that, oh, what job I will find or what can I do. There is something still that you have that that you can utilize it for God's glory. And the scripture is there are abundant examples about it. Okay, when we look in the life of Joseph as well, what qualification he had to become the person next to the Pharaoh of Egypt. Think about it. He, like Daniel, he went through a curriculum of the Babylonian education. He went through that. He was educated in the language, the culture, their history, their tradition, everything. He was well versed. But when you look at Joseph, what did he have? Only God was with him. God was with him, and he trusted in that, the skill or the talent that God had given to Joseph, especially the heavenly wisdom that God had given to Joseph. So here, that first thing is important. When we think that we have lost everything, think about it that we need to take an inventory of what we have as our assets. And this is important for all of us, okay? That we keep an inventory of what we have in our hands, okay? Uh, the second thing, the reply of the widow, she says nothing at all. Okay, this is a common response uh, from all of us. Did she didn't she have anything? Did she have anything? She said, what is her reply? Yes, Priya, what is the reply? Nothing, zero. Nothing. What does nothing mean? Nothing doesn't mean something. She says, nothing at all. I don't have anything. Then she remembers, oh, I have something. And what is that something? Except a jar of olive oil. Okay. Now, when we think about olive oil is not a normal thing. Okay. It is not, though it is not much used in our country. In Arab culture and also the Jewish culture, this is an important oil. Okay. Though it may not be directly used for cooking, it is used for salads. Also, if you read the scriptures, it was used for the burning of the lamb in the tabernacle as well. Okay, so it's a very precious oil. It is not a normal thing. It is it's a cold pressed oil. Okay, it is value. It has got a value in it. Okay, here she says her response is nothing at all. Many times when we are also in a situation and somebody asks, "What do you have with you?" Nothing. I've lost everything. We are like, I've lost everything. No, you still have something. Their prophet Elijah is telling, it's a very, question that pierces into her and asking her, what do you have? And her reply finally is, except a flask of olive oil. I have a jar of olive oil. Uh, uh, you know, little, there's a song, no? Little is much when God is in it. Okay. So even in that little, when God is there, it is everything. God, it is something that which God can abound, okay, or God can enlarge it, okay. So here we see that when Elisha is asking this question, the first thing is to assess her inventory, and she finds out that she has at least a jar of olive oil. It's not that she doesn't have anything. Now, the second thing from verse 3 to 4, maybe somebody can read it, maybe in Hindi, 3 and 4.
उसने कहा तू बाहर जाकर अपनी सब पड़ोसियों से खाली बर्तन मांग ले आ और थोड़े बर्तन न लाना। फिर तू अपने बेटों समेत अपने घर में जा और द्वार बंद करके उन सब बर्तनों में तेल उड़ेल देना और जो भर जाए उन्हें अलग रखना।
Verse 3 and 4 is the response of this woman. It is an act of faith and obedience. She directly obeyed what prophet Elisha said this, and Elisha is out of the scene. He is no more in the picture. He is out of the scene. The Elisha says, borrow as many empty jars as you can from your friends and neighbors. So, a question, is it wrong to borrow? A question for it. Is it borrow? Does the Bible tell that you should not borrow? No, the Bible doesn't tell. Okay, even about debt, when we read in the book of Proverbs also, debt is not bad, okay, but it has to be balanced, okay. Here it says borrow as many empty, but it's important to borrow what you can give back, okay. See, many people end up taking loans from the bank, thinking that someday, it will be repaid. Maybe my salary will be growing up in the company that I'm working, and maybe I will be able to buy. They go and buy, big cars or maybe a big apartment. Right now we are in a situation where we have to buy a car. So there are so many options going in my mind, whether I should buy a small car or a big car. And I'm like looking at my need. Okay. So borrowing or taking credit from anywhere, be careful, assess it that you are able to pay it back. Okay. It should not happen that you borrow in such a way that you are unable to pay it back. Don't think about that momentary thing. As I said, go to any shop here right now and you go to any valuable product, maybe a washing machine, a laptop, or a phone, you will find the EMI amount 2,000 rupees per month for 36 months. We see, oh, only 2,000 rupees. Okay, I can pay it. I see, sadly, many kids, buying expensive phones, not thinking whether they can really afford it and whether they really need it. Sometime back, one supervisor who works in my company, he went and bought when iPhone, I don't know which series it was. He bought iPhone 14 Pro Max, So he brought it, sir, मैंने ये लिया है phone. And those days I was carrying a normal phone with me. I said like, why did you buy this phone? नहीं, phone बहुत अच्छा है. Like phone अच्छा है, but what is the use for you? नहीं, इसमें photo बहुत अच्छा आता है. It's like, no, still I'm asked, like I said, photo, then iPhone 14 should have been also good. Why Pro and then Pro Max? What is this? नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये तो हमारे गांव में जाएगा ना, तो फोन लेके जाएगा तो थोड़ा impression होगा. So that fellow is looking at his status, what do you say, impress his family, or somebody. And this is happening very common in colleges, right? We had it in our college during my days. I've seen, those days mobile phones are just coming up. So children are getting influenced by seeing, oh, this is the best phone right now, I need to have it. So especially, strong-willed children, they have this impulse. They want it, they want to use this phone. Okay. So borrow as so that only if you can return it, or you're confident that you can pay it, or you can, if you have taken money from somebody, you return it. I really like the message that, Zach Kunan gives, that if you are in debt, don't even go and give tithe. When I first heard this, I was like, many of us are in loans from the bank. So he gives a balanced approach that is something that that you can pay it. But if you have taken money from another brother, the scripture is very clear about it. Like, don't even pay the tithe. Don't pay the tithe. Don't go and put the money in the offering because it is somebody else's money. So be very, see, the scripture is very serious about our finances. Okay, we cannot cheat God, because when we take money from others and put it in the offering, it is like we are cheating. Actually, it is that person's money that you are putting into the bank. It is not something that you took it from your hard-earned thing. So be very careful in this. So borrowing is okay, but ensure that you return it. As it says here, borrow as many empty jars as you can from your friends and neighbors. The second thing that she does is, the third thing that Elisha says to her, then go into your house with your sons and shut the door behind you. It is something probably Elisha is telling this woman to go back into her house, be alone with her children, pray about it, and God is going to do miracle about it. Not something to show off to the world, but close your doors, be in the presence of God, seek the help from God. God is going to do great things. Don't ever go and ask anything else from your neighbors. The thing that is telling, get empty jars only. Okay, nothing else. Okay, because empty jars, Prophet Elisha could have said, I was thinking this story in another way also. At the end, okay, it is the multiplication of the olive oil. Okay, Prophet Elisha could have done one more thing, that he could have told, okay, you borrow olive oils from all the neighboring families who are there. Okay, sell it at a higher price, and out of the profits, pay back to all your neighbors. Okay, he could have told her, but that's not what Prophet Elisha is telling. Prophet Elisha told only to get the empty jars. The olive oil is going to be produced in the house itself. Okay, he says, shut the door behind, be in the presence of the God of the Lord, and then he says, pour olive oil from your flask into the jar, setting each one aside when it is filled. Okay, an act of faith and obedience. This woman doesn't complain. This woman, as it says here, the next verse 5, so she did as she was told, right? What is in Hindi?
तब वह उसके पास से चली गई और अपने बेटों समेत अपने घर जाकर द्वार बंद किया. तब वे तो उसके पास बर्तन लाते गए और वह उंडेलती गई.
Verse 5. Okay. I didn't hear it in Hindi. Like, so in English it says, so she did as she was told. She did exactly what she was told to do. Okay, she did not have a doubt of what Prophet Elisha had told. Okay, she was very clear about it. It says that so she did as she was told. It was a total act of the obedience by this woman. Okay. Another point that I want to make is when the she though it doesn't say that she whether she sought help from God, but if she has gone to Prophet Elisha, she sought godly wisdom, okay, from wise people, okay. This is another thing that we all need to do. Whenever we go through difficult situations, any situations of your life, the other day we have mentioned about the corporate politics, okay, there it is very common. We all have experienced it so much, right? And Daniel experienced it, in his life. It's a great example for us. We all go through those situations, but when we go through those situations, it's important. There are elderly people in the assembly as well who have gone through this phase. Seek advice from them that what we can do about it, or how can I get through this situation. This woman, she did that. She faced the situation, and what she did is she sought help and wise counsel from Prophet Elisha. And she goes back and she did exactly what she was told. And her sons, they kept bringing the jars, and she filled one after the other. Soon every container was full to brim. And finally, she says to her son, "Bring me another jar." But there weren't enough. All the jars in the neighborhood were now in their house, and all of them are full of the olive oil. And it says that once they told that there aren't any more, he told her, and then the olive oil stopped flowing. Okay, God's abundant blessing. Okay, same thing. It's a multiplication that God can do. Okay, in our life as well. When we are faithful with the wealth that God has given to us. Okay, uh, God can do great things out of it. That is the important lesson that we learn from it. Leave it in the hands of God. Okay, ask wisdom from God how I need to handle it. Okay, maybe I'm just taking an example. Even if you get a 5,000 rupees salary, God, this is the salary that God you have given to me. Okay, what must I do with it? What must I buy with it? Or what should I do, give? How much should I give it to the God servants? Those decisions we need to take once we have this. So here we see that she sought help and wisdom, wise counsel from Prophet Elisha, and we see how abundantly God was able to multiply it. Okay. Um, Finally, verse 7. Okay. This is the important verse. When she told the man of God what had happened, he said to her, "Now sell the olive oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on what is left over." Okay. Maybe someone can read in Hindi.
तब उसने जाकर परमेश्वर के भक्त को यह बता दिया, और उसने कहा, जा तेल बेचकर ऋण भर दे, और जो रह जाए उससे तू अपने पुत्रों सहित अपना निर्वाह करना।
Okay. So the first thing that the prophet, she comes back, she has done the act of faith and obedience, and now she comes to the prophet. And the prophet now tells her something. First thing, sell the olive oil. Okay. It's a simple line, sell the olive oil, but it speaks about business. It speaks about commerce. Okay. We may think that, oh, sell the olive oil, she just went and sorted. No. It was like selling. It was not easy. She had to put a price for it, maybe the market price or whatever. She had to put for it. She had to make effort for it. Okay. It was not simple that she just took the olive oil to the neighbor and said, "Oh, I have so much olive oil and this is it." No, it is hard work. Those who do business, they all know, right? That it is not easy. Okay. To earn, your profits. There is a lot of market fluctuations, and so many things affects it. Okay. Prophet Elisha is telling her, sell the olive oil. Okay. It's hard work. Okay. An effort has to be put. Okay. God has given us health. God has given us wisdom. That we must use it for doing God's work. As it says here, sell the olive oil. It was not an easy thing that Prophet Elisha told him, okay, told this woman. The second thing that he says to her, pay your debts, debt elimination. Okay, this is the word that I wanted to use, debt elimination. Okay, the freer you are from these debts, the more peaceful sleep you will have. Okay, the more if accumulation of the loans. See, I'm not speaking as taking loans from bank for buying a house or maybe a car for your need. Okay, but these days many are taking money. The other day, some time back, I was looking at when the Coldplay concert happened here. I saw some of these children. They took such loans from the bank to pay this 25,000 rupees ticket. 25,000, 30,000, 40,000. Can you imagine? We are living in a world like that. They didn't have any job, but they said, oh, this is a once in a lifetime incident. What if this Coldplay guy dies and doesn't come back? Okay. See the craze. Okay. This is the generation that we are living in. Our children who go to the colleges, they are influenced by it because they are other children like that. Okay. Because you have children who are coming from different backgrounds. I had a friend of mine when I was doing my engineering. One day I went to his house and he was preparing to go to US and he showed me his bank balance and I was like, I got a shock that this was his bank balance. Then what is his father's bank balance? Okay. So there is no comparison. Okay. We cannot compare because that guy has this much money in his account. That doesn't mean that I put pressure on my parents that I also need it. No. Okay. Or this is like, so we live in a world like that. Our children are going to schools and colleges like that, where they don't think about it. They're taking loans to go and watch a 2 hour concert or maybe some football match in the somewhere happening. People are this now the FIFA happened. Youths are all going, leaving their jobs and So think about it. It's a very crazy world. Okay, they are ready to go into debt for the momentary enjoyment. Okay, so Bible is clear about it. As it says here, pay your debts. The first thing that she when even though Prophet Elisha is telling to work hard, the first thing he tells them is go and pay your debts. So clear your debts, clear it from your head, and that is the first thing that she needs to do. The other thing from that is, and you and your sons can live on what is that in NKJV? Live on the rest. In my faith, what is left over? Okay. Okay, maybe you made a big profit out of it. Maybe that woman, she made a big profit out of it. She could have said, oh, maybe let me build a bigger business out of it. Now I have some capital amount with me. I can use this to make a bigger barn, as that rich young man. I can make a bigger warehouse. Maybe I can have more olive oil and I can sell it. This is good business. But what does Prophet Elisha say? He says, you can live on what is left over. First, clear your debts. That is the first thing. And the other thing that we learn from it is plan for your future. Okay, very, very important for all the youngsters. This is, I remember when I passed out of my college. When me and my brother once traveled to Bombay, my father did not give money to my brother. He gave it to me because he knew that if he gives it to my brother, he is a big spender. So I was the one to control him. So we did a 500 rupees trip from here to Bombay and came back. So I controlled all this thing. So sometimes it happens. Oh, I have this 500 rupees. Spend it. You know, and then you don't realize. Okay, next day, do you have something to eat or not? So here, Prophet Elisha is giving very wise counsel that you earn profits, do commerce, do business, earn your profits, but first clear your debts. Second thing is do a saving. Do a saving for your future. Think about it. Think about the many things that you have ahead of your life. Uh, Even if it's boys or girls. Okay, there are so many things that you need to plan ahead. Okay, don't depend. Think that my parents will keep supplying. No, you need to take certain decision. You need to maybe buy a house. You need to buy a car. Start investing. There are a lot of ways to do that. but the first thing is debt elimination and then plan for the future. We what we learn from this verse is, to understand God's provision through work and commerce. Okay, don't think that that something from heaven is going to fall down into your hand, a bag of money. No, we need to make effort. We need to work hard. Okay, it is not an easy life today. More than our previous generation, it's a very tough time. Many children I know who are struggling. Who cleared engineering and who are struggling for jobs in India. Okay, even there, some of the salaries in which some of these engineers come there, the laborers are getting more than them. I feel so sad about it. This is the time that we are living in. So, all the youngsters, God has given you abundant time as well as wisdom. Utilize it to study well and use that for God's glory. One verse that I would like to read, Psalm 37:25. We all know this verse. It's by King David. Uh, 37 and verse 25.
I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging bread.
Hmm. It says there, once I was young and now I am old. The David had a time when he was young. He utilized his time very well. Okay, he utilized his time not only the first priority for him was God. He wrote lot of psalms while taking care of the sheep. Okay, while being there as well, he worked hard. Right, he protected his sheep. He protected his sheep from the lion and the bear. Okay, situations where he could have lost his business. Okay, he fought hard for his taking care of his sheep because animal husbandry was a profession and it was a sort of a business. But David, he was very careful about it. He knew that this has been given to me by my father. I need to take care of it. Okay, I need to rear it well. I need to feed it well. I need to protect it from the attacks from the wild animals. And he says, now I am old, yet I have never seen the godly abandoned or their children begging for bread. The righteous one's children, the righteous one is important, not everyone. Okay, says the godly one. Godly one means the one who fears God. It says that their children I have never seen begging for their bread. Okay, it doesn't mean that, of course, God will bless it, but even if you go through those situations, you will still have somebody to rely on, and that is our God, who is the helper of the helpless. Okay, so from this small story or this small incident, what we learned today is this: the first thing, when you think that you have lost everything, or when you think, or when you want to make a decision in your life, okay, as I said, maybe it's your first salary, maybe it's your first increment, maybe it's your first bonus, okay, or whatever you get, okay, if you don't know what to do with it, of course, ask God first. The second thing, ask help and wisdom from or wise counsel from godly people. That is the first thing. The second thing, when we think that I've lost everything, think about it, that we still have something that God has given to me. It is the wisdom, it is the talent that God has blessed each one of us. Okay. The third thing we see about the act of faith and obedience of this woman. Okay. She did not have any kind of doubt, but she obeyed it. What Prophet Elisha said to her. The last point, 3 points that we learned from verse 7 is debt elimination. So, never live in debt. Okay, never be in debt to anyone. Okay, be very careful with that. And the second thing that we learned from that verse is plan for your future. Have a maybe it's a start small. Maybe it's a savings account. Start saving for your future. And the final thing is that understand God's provision through work and commerce. Okay, it is not an easy life. We need to work hard, but whatever God gives unto us, let us be faithful with it. Let us be careful that we don't live a credit card life, borrowing, but ensure that what God has given to me, I use it faithfully. The scripture says, Jesus himself told in that parable that use your unrighteous mammon to befriend what people in this world. Use the unrighteous mammon, this wealth that we have momently short time that God has given to us. It is for a very short time. We don't take anything from here. For that short time, use it for God's kingdom. So the first thing is that whatever God has given to us, use it for God's glory. Okay, that is. So that's why there is, always this question about whether I should give 10% of my tithe or 20%. No, there should not be a question, because whatever God has given to us, use it for God's glory, for God's kingdom. Be it be offering, or be it be hospitality, be it be helping somebody in the hospital or in need, whatever way, what God has given to you, use it for God's glory. Okay. This small, I hope this small story helps each one of us to take good decisions in our life, never to be in debt, and always trusting in God's abundance, and always seeking wise counsel from godly people, from righteous people, and God will really help us. May God bless us through this word.